Hey, day four, ladies. Day four of the event. It's going past so fast. I don't know about you, I'm having so much fun. I love hosting these events. I love the energy of all of these women, we're coming together and we're talking about really deep and profound things. And we're talking about creating life on our own terms. And it's a beautiful conversation. And I appreciate all of you and your commitment to creating life on your own terms and doing the work behind the scenes to make that a reality. Yeah, because this is really the thing. The ones of you who are committed, you're taking sessions, you're writing notes, you're coming back to teachings, you're taking the courses, you're learning, you're expanding, you're growing. Those of you who are doing that, you're the ones that are going to see incredible results. So I can see comments coming up already. Amazing. Before we dive in, you're going to be meeting Delphine today. I can't wait for you to meet her. She's one of our students inside the school and recently joined. And I love the fact that you've recently joined and so much has happened in such a short period of time. One of the reasons I wanted to invite Delphine in is because of how much has happened so quickly, to gift you social proof that it doesn't have to take long. Yeah, momentum can be created incredibly fast and it can be a lot of fun. I can see people coming in. I'm just going to check the audio. Okay, great. I can see somebody called C, so welcome, C. So what we're doing today is about twofold. First, I'm going to tell you what today is about so you can get the most value from it. And then secondly, I can hear someone's audio come on. Just make sure you all stay on silent, otherwise you'll pop up on screen. Today is about twofold. I'll tell you that in a moment, and then we'll go over some sexy admin so that you know where all of the things are, what is coming, so you can continue to get value as we're carrying on through the weekend, and we're also carrying on through next week. That momentum started for you. We want to keep it going. Yeah, because if we suddenly stop cold, it's just like in a workout. If you suddenly stop cold, your blood starts to pool in the feet, so you keep moving. Think of it in the same terms. Yeah, we're not pooling the ideas, we're allowing that momentum to flow like water. Today is about two things. One, social proof. If you heard the audio in the WhatsApp group beforehand, you will know what I'm talking about. If you didn't, I recommend you go and listen to this afterwards. My desire is you receive so much social proof of what is possible for you that you release disbelief that your biggest dreams are possible. So if you're holding on to disbelief, you have this dream of what you want for yourself, and you're holding on to disbelief that it's possible for you. My intention is to give you so much social proof that you realize that what you're currently thinking is a big deal is purely the starting point. It's just the beginning of what's coming for you. And this is the power of being in spaces that continually give you the social proof that you're thinking small, and there is so much more when you open yourself up to it. When you open yourself, you lift the veil, because maybe your current environment is showing you certain possibilities. But when you get into places where you get to see behind the scenes of how magic is created, how greatness is created, how success and wealth and abundance and inner peace is created, then you get to see the thought forms, you get to see the nervous system responses, you get to see the logical moves that are actually a lot easier than you think, that get you to where you want to go, and really quickly. And then show you there is always something else to expand into, and it's fun. It's not force, it's fun. Yeah? So you're going to get social proof with Delphine. I'm also going to share a little bit of behind the scenes of what's going on in the school this month, give you more social proof. And let me anchor in and remind you before I share that it was only in quarantine that I was in a financial situation where I was having to borrow money to put food on my table, to pay my bills. It wasn't long ago that I literally had no idea of what I could create. And 2 years ago, something massive shifted. So I'll be sharing a bit of social proof of what's going on right now in the school. Because if I can do it, you can do it. There's nothing like different about me. Oh, there's 3 people. I better let them in. Let's just make sure that the audio is all good as everybody is entering the room. Hello, Chiara, darling. Welcome to the party. Hello, Sarah. Good morning. Hello, Xante, darling. Just making sure that you're all on mute as we are currently. Whoever sound is on, you will be on screen. Okay. Secondly, today's session is for those of you who are interested in what it looks like behind the scenes inside the school. I know lots of you are interested in joining us, whether it's now or in the future. You're going to get more of a feel of the types of women that are in the space, the reasons that they join, the conversations that we have. For those of you for whom a container like this is new, it's really beautiful to introduce yourself to that concept. For me, I remember the first time I'd never heard about coaching and mentoring containers before. My mind was blown. And I was introduced to that concept by multiple coaches for a little bit of time. And I started to normalize it. And I was like, oh, wow, yeah, I love that idea. So it's also exposing yourself to the ideas of the things that expand you to your next level. If you have questions for Delphine, you are welcome to drop those in the chat. So let me share some sexy admin. The links, I know there are lots of you that want to read about what we do in the school or you're ready to sign up straight away. I woke up this morning to one of you having paid in full for the certification. So congratulations, that's very exciting. We're excited to welcome you in. And there's lots of you wanting to read up or sign up. So the links are in the Telegram group. If you're not in the Telegram group and you want those links straight away, send Fayla or myself a DM and we will get those to you, okay? We have the Q&A thread inside the Telegram group. Drop your questions below that thread. If you're not in the Telegram group for whatever reason, send them directly to me and we will add them to the form of the questions that have been posed. The prize draw. You still have time to enter. Remember to tell me that you've entered. I know some of you have entered because I've got lots of new women signing up and you've not told me. Make sure you tell me that you've entered the competition. I can't guess. I can't know it like through the ether. I'm not on that level yet of telepathy. So the prize draw. The prize is, if you've been enjoying these sessions, you definitely want to participate in the prize draw. Because the prize is, for example, 2 of the options you can choose from is a month in the school for free. And you get to be in that space with the women doing the work together. One of the other prizes is you get 20-minute session, business brainstorming with me. I look at your business, I look at the mindset, and I get to see, okay, what's getting in the way of you reaching your next level with ease. I mean, you can have breakthroughs really fast. So the prizes are really incredible. The effort is sharing it with people, okay? There's that momentum on your part, that commitment on your part. Last things, I will be dropping some really fun audios over the weekend. Keep tapped into the WhatsApp group. We will cease to share those powerful audios in the WhatsApp group and it will only be Telegram from then on. So if you're not in that channel yet, move yourself across. The WhatsApp group, we will inform you what is changing there. We will keep it open, but you won't have as much magic being dropped in that group as in the Telegram channel. So the offers end on the 30th of April. If you want to chat with me about the options, then send me a message. Okay, Delphine, thank you for your patience, darling. I'll let you slurp your tea or coffee, whatever you're drinking. So I won't say too much. We've not prepped anything. I just sent Delphine a message like, would you be willing to come and share your story with people? And she's like, yeah, let's do it. So Delphine is here in the house. Let's begin. I would love for you to introduce yourself, Delphine, who you are, what you do, and what the project is that you're currently building.
Okay. Hi, thank you, Rachel. And I am Delphine. I joined the school in February, I think. And so it's been 2 months. just a little bit of background, so who I am and what I do. So I kind of have three lives that are kind of merging together. My day job, I'm a vice president of product management, so I lead global teams of engineers and data scientists in building data products all over across the world for telecom. That's what I've been doing for 25 years. I also am a mom of two boys who are raised by myself. And most recently, I founded my own business, Breathe with Delphine, which started as a breathwork and meditation business where I would lead classes and workshops. And now it's transforming and evolving to being my own coaching, mentorship, and teaching business, where I coach people to step into their power, shatter their limiting belief, connect within to, flourish into the 2.0 self that they want to be. So that's a small introduction. And where, joining the school has been transformative for me is that about a year ago, maybe 18 months ago, I was very deep into a very, I'll call it the abyss, like a very dark hole. Life was on top of me. I was crippled by fear, rage, trauma, you name it. I was coming off antidepressants and hadn't done the work whilst on the drugs. So, all stopping the antidepressant meant that everything came back to my face, and I had this tsunami of emotion that was crippling me because I didn't know how to deal with it. And also I was going through breakup. I had financial troubles. Rachel, I relate to your story because I had the bailiff coming at my door every week asking me for thousands of pounds for some silly mistake I had made unconsciously, which turned into this mega nightmare. And I was hating. Hating myself, hating life. And that was a year ago. I wanted to quit my job because I hated my job. I hated all the people I was working for because I was in fear. And fast forward, I first met my first coach. So Rachel isn't my first coach. And he introduced me to breath work, which helped me to start connecting with myself and introduced me to the value of coaching. I had no idea what a coach was. I was working with a therapist, so in my mind it was called kind of the same. So why would you have both? And then I met this other person who is still also my coach. I now have two coaches, Rachel and this other person, because of the value of that brought me to my life. And he introduced me to breathwork, which helped awoken me to this inner world and started kind of shifting things inside me to the point that I started I wanted to learn breathwork, to teach it. So a year ago, I got into learning how to teach breathwork and the philosophy of it and what it does for people. And within a few months, I qualified. And back in July, I decided, let me see if I can teach a class. And I can see Charlotte on this call. And Charlotte and I went to the same breathwork school. We learned with the same people, and Charlotte and I started connecting. So that was summer. Fast forwarded a few classes. It made me feel alive. Suddenly I was sharing what I had learned about myself, and I was sharing it and teaching it and transmitting it to people. And that gave me this massive awakening to actually, I feel good when I coach and when I teach and when I transmit what essentially was my pain and how I transformed it into something beautiful. And I think maybe toward the end of the summer, Charlotte on this call contacted me for inviting me to one of Rachel's free events. And Charlotte told me, join. It's gonna, you're gonna love it. Da da da. This event's for you. So I joined, and so like some of you ladies on this call, I was like you, kind of very curious, very open, but also a little bit like not knowing what it was gonna be. And yeah, I connected instantly with what Rachel you were talking about, and like it was really like a deep feeling inside of wow, it's like you were talking to my soul, really. And But there was fear, right? So I really wanted to join. Like I knew, well, I felt that I wanted to join, but there was that fear of I really want to join, but is this right for me? And I think Rachel, we had a few conversations, but I just wasn't there. I wasn't ready. But so the free event passed. I watched everything, rewatched everything, kind of let it sink in. And then there was another round of free events that I joined again. And this is where I realized that actually this was for me. This was for me. And I had that inner knowing in my belly that I had to do it because it just made sense, but not just in my head, in how I felt in my body. So reached out to Rachel and went all in. I think I signed up for the certification straight away. And that was back in February. Um, I, I don't know how long I have to talk, so I can talk for hours. So,
This
you
is amazing. And hearing part of your story that I didn't know about is really beautiful. And thank you for all of the bits that you shared. There's so much wisdom in there that can help people in this space, wherever they may find they're at. You know, that only a year ago where you were and where you are now, it's been really, really, really quick, really fast. So can you share a little bit about what's happened since joining the school? Like what have you noticed shifting since starting?
Oh, I'd actually call it more than a shift, right? It's sometimes it's going so fast in my progress and my growth that sometimes I have to really ground myself and go, whoa, what's going on here? Um, so when I joined, I had evolved already from teaching weekly classes to actually running workshops that were longer workshop with where I could spend more time with people and charge more. So I was starting to now make a side income on the side of my corporate job. And it started to feel like, oh, actually, there's something there, but I didn't quite know what it was, right? And so joining the school has started shifting my mindset from I'm dabbling, I'm doing this for fun or to as a way of escaping my corporate job to actually this could be my life. This could actually be this that sounds corny a bit, but this could be my path and this could be my life. And that was back in February. And I cut the long story short, but 3 months on, I'm now in 2 days' time, I'm launching my first 12-week program where I am going to be taking people on the journey that I was on a year ago, taking people on a journey of transformation. And I first started thinking about launching my own program a month ago. I think it was after one of the coaching sessions in school. where fella said, why don't you just do it? Because that's what you get in the school, is like, why don't you just do it? And from that point, I thought, actually, I'm going to do it. And a month later, I'm about to start it, and people are paying me for it. You know, and that's been the other shift, is that I was in a place of, why would people want to spend time with me? Why would people want to pay me for what I give? You know, I was in that space, and now I'm like, yeah, of course people want that, because you know, my journey and my story and what I can coach, like what I can mentor and teach, is actually what they need, and that's why they connect with me. And so there's a whole exchange of energy, just like the same exchange of energy that there was between Rachel and I when we first met, right? So that's the growth and the shift and the transformation in the past 3 months, and that's only 3 months. So, the last shift, I guess, in date, which was 2 days ago, that I'm still kind of processing that one. In the business session, we were coaching each other on defining what we do, and you know, our ideal client, and you know, really kind of visualizing and putting in like crystallizing what we do. And I think I told Fela, who was, you know, we were in the session together, I really find this calling to coach men in their own transformation and their whole emotional healing journey. There's so much to be done with men, right? But I'd been working with women, so I felt conflicted. And then Fela asked, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "I think I want to work with men." And Fela said, "Okay, so why don't you?" And since then, it's been this complete transformation in my mind. I've been working on, you know, what I can offer to men, and it makes me feel alive, and it gives this whole life force inside me of, actually, this is my next journey, right? This is my next step, is actually to launch a transformational program for men in leadership, who lead people perhaps from a place of force and fear and very masculine energy, to coach men to actually, you know, see the other side of leadership, which is about connecting and emotions, and you know, and that's what I'm going to be doing next. And that is the biggest shift in my life ever.
That is so exciting, Delphine. It's really exciting, and how quickly, and this is something I really like to point out, ladies, is empowered moves. To follow intuition, to have an idea, and to follow through on it quickly. And this is where, as so much in business can be anxiety and friction, because it's that noise and that resistance between what we know is for us and us actually following through on it. And the quicker we can let go of the mental noise and we can follow our knowing within ourselves, the anxiety is reduced, the requirement to sit and think about all of the possibilities. This is not how empowered women move. And this was a big game changer for me, to go from having to think about everything and all of the possible outcomes and everything that could go wrong before I moved, was causing my growth to be so slow. And so this is why Delphine is seeing the growth really fast, as there's not the worrying in between, it's the feeling, the showing, is this what you want? Yes, it is, and then moving with it, rather than sitting in the terror barrier. Those of you who are going to take the extra training over the weekend that I'm offering you, you're going to know what I'm talking about. Yeah, we have that free training you can take. Just send me a message saying I want the extra training. The less time you spend in the terror barrier. So think of the valley that Jay's brought up yesterday, those of you who stayed on and listened right to the end. If you didn't watch the replay, Jay started sharing things at the end. When you're jumping the valley from where you are to where you want to be, we can spend a long time in the void in between. Yeah, that's the terror barrier we're going through. What speeds up that void to getting to where you want to go is following your intuition and making empowered moves. Not thinking about all of the ways you can fail and acknowledging that failure is going to happen as you build your business. The quicker you can get comfortable with it, the faster you will grow and the more balanced your nervous system will be. And you can hear from what Delphine's sharing, yeah? Oh, I can see people coming into the room. Give me 1 second to make sure they're all coming through okay. So let me read out the comments. Ladies, if you've got questions that you would like to pose Delphine, do drop those in. Connie's saying, I just wanted to say a huge well done to Delphine as she's achieved so much already. It's a treat to observe and to share hers and our energy. Yes. So being in spaces where you see other women making the moves helps you to make them yourself. Either missed yesterday's session, spending an evening with your friend. Maybe I'll download Telegram after all to be able to catch the replays. Yes, do it. Do it. Empowered move, girl. Don't think about it too much. Kiela saying good morning. Connie saying couldn't agree more. Rachel talking to the soul. Pamela saying whoa, so needed and so great, Delphine. Thank you for your story. That's amazing. And to want to work with men is especially amazing. Yes, as men don't realize they need the female energy when they look for healing. And I'm sure your business will succeed. Congratulations. Okay, question. How do you reach the clients? My biggest problem is making advertisement for myself. Okay, let's cover that question in the Q&A on Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll be deciding in the poll. Yeah, we can get into that. Ladies in the school, if there's things you would like to add to the answer, then ping your answers to me, okay? It's different for everybody. It's all about the sales funnels that you use, okay? So, Delphine. Ah, yeah, some really good questions coming through. So let's dive into this one. I'm interested to know how you balanced your time between a corporate job, 2 children, and starting a new business.
That's a great question. So there's 2 ways of answering this question. It can be overwhelming at times, and that's true, right? It was, I would say, and there's still times when I feel it is overwhelming. The other side of the story, or the other answer to this question is that through the inner work that we do together, is that I've learned that my time is best managed when I don't force things and when I give myself the time to breathe. When I teach breath work, so of course, but it's about learning to not force everything, and then when you feel tired that you need to rest, and then when you feel very energized, that's when you're going go 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 go. So I have learned that also. In daytime, I'm in my corporate job. I'm lucky enough that my corporate jobs, I'm based in the UK, and my company that I work for is American based, and so my day really start midday until like evening time. So I've got my mornings free, which is when I do work on my own business. But what's also essential for me is to make time for my children. So it's all about the balance and making sure that to cut the noise, being really grounded, which does, it's all about groundedness, cutting the noise and focusing on what really matters, I think. But I think, Rachel, you told me that the other day, because I was back in that zone, oh my God, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I can't do it all. I was worried that I was working on my business at weekends and in the evenings, which is a bit counterintuitive when you're coaching people to not go into burnout. And you know, Rachel, you told me something again that made me open my eyes, is that, you know, it's all about connecting with your meaning and connecting with the vision, connecting when you're in doubt, when you feel tired. Where do you want to be? What do you want to do? And if it means grinding for, you know, 6 months or a year to get to where you want to be, then so be it. And it's about accepting that and putting in place the systems and the methods to be able to ground when you feel jittery, which I often do as well. I hope that answered the question.
Amazing. Let me just check the chat. I would love to ask you about the whole money mindset piece, because I know this is it's going to be a question for some of the women in the space. And something we touched upon in yesterday's session is when you are building a business where you see a future, where you have a level of financial, time and location freedom you don't currently have, when you're looking to the future and you're focusing not on what is it I'm building today, what is it I'm building over time, that's when investing makes logical sense. You know, so investing in what's coming tomorrow, investing in creating something that allows you for the safety within yourself and outside. Yeah. So with the money mindset side, could you share a little bit on that? Because I know that, you know, for joining the school, that felt like a stretch. What was it that helped you navigate that stretch?
It felt safe in my body. That's the first thing. You know, because I actually, my money mindset has just transformed in the past year, because as I think I said it earlier, I was, you know, a year ago, I had a bailiff at my door, right? So I was like crippled by debt. So making the move to actually invest in myself and in coaching, and, you know, was a big move for me because I had to make choices. But I knew, it's like I knew I couldn't do it alone. I needed that guidance. So it made sense for me to invest. And actually, because I did spend a few evenings doing spreadsheet work. Can I afford this? Can I do it? You know, when you're in that, again, back into the terror barrier, right? Where you're like in that limbo of, should I do it? Should I not? Should I do it? Should I not? And then I had a sense of, actually, fuck it, I'm going to do it. Because it felt like what I needed. And I would say that actually, since making this investment, it's actually helped me deal with my debt, because now, because I was the type of person who spends money when I don't feel good within. And now that I know I'm paying for this for the school, for my coach, that's the top priority, because I have to make payments. So actually, it's helping me to not go and spend money on other things that are not serving my purpose, really and truly, right? So that's the first change in money mindset. And then I think what's been key in the shift as well is that, because you're investing in yourself, ultimately to invest in the vision that you have for yourself, your own business or your own development, it almost forces you to reassess how you're charging people for your services, how you relate to payment for your services, because you understand the value of investing in yourself. Therefore, you can coach people to understand the value in investing in themselves and paying you ultimately. And I think that's been the shift. Does that make sense? I don't know if, yeah, it makes sense in me.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. As this was a shift I noticed, and I noticed for a lot of people when we do choose to take those moves and invest in something and we realize how much it brings to us, then we start to realize how little we've been charging our own clients. Yeah, and how we're actually doing a disservice. And here, if you've not heard me say this before, ladies, I really invite you to hold this for yourself, that if you are charging little for your services, not only are you doing yourself a disservice, you're doing your clients a disservice. We think we are helping by making ourselves affordable, and we're not. We are imposing the perception of limitation on the world around us. We're telling people you can't afford this, I'm keeping it cheap for you. And we're stealing from them, we're robbing from them the opportunity for them to invest at a level that stretches them to the point they're emotionally invested. I used to think that it was bad to increase my prices. I now realize, as somebody who's invested on another level, how much it's done for me within myself. I'm like, oh, damn. Now I get it. Now I get how I was doing everybody a disservice as I was holding on to lack and scarcity, and I was projecting it to everybody around me and imposing that social dream, that social story. We're doing it to one another and we're keeping each other down. And then when we change, we start to expand it outwards. We shift, everybody else around us, people will be triggered by it. Let them be triggered. Let it awaken them to a whole other possibility. And there are so many people out there that want to pay you more. There are so many people out there who they are currently paying you less, and when you charge them more, at first they will resist, and then they go, you know what, I really want to pay you more. It's a big shift because we think people don't want to pay us more, and therefore we show up in that way, and therefore we impose it on them, and they believe it themselves, and we begin to shift, they begin to shift, and we expand together. Let me anchor you back in. Money is not a limited source, that is a story. And as soon as we begin to shift that story, it's like domino effect. We start to receive a lot more because we shift our story with our love story with money. So ladies, I would love you to sort of tap into what is it you're struggling the most with right now? What is it you're struggling the most with right now? And what is the type of question you would like to pose? Delphine or myself, we can do that in the Q&A next week. What are the types of questions you want to pose that are going to help you? That are going to help you to recognize that you can let go of that struggle straight away. You can feel less alone in your journey. There are two types of questions we can pose. What should I do right now? And what is it that you did when you were struggling with the same? And you get completely different answers. The second gives you the wisdom of the blueprint of the person who embodies what you want. Yeah, so this is why in the school we talk a lot about the different types of questions and we answer in different ways. So you get your blueprint, but you also see the person who's got what you want, what they did to get there. So on that note, if you have questions come up that you would like to pose, then please do pop those in the chat. And if it's ones that you would like me to answer, you can pop those in the chat. I'll answer those Tuesday or Wednesday. Let me just check my questions. Delphine, for any women out there who they're currently doubting their next moves, you know, whether it's joining the school or investing in some other support system that's going to help them. Those who are on the cusp of creating change and they don't know it yet, because a lot of you are on the cusp of change and you don't realize. And it's literally about the choices you now make with what comes next that open different doors and send you down different paths. For those women who are on the cusp without realizing that the big changes on their way, who are maybe doubting themselves, staying small, is there something you would like to share?
Mm. Um, think I relate to this feeling of it's almost like I feel it now, or like it's every day, right? It's like this. It's like there's a when you, that fine line between fear and excitement, right? There, for me, it's here, and if you feel on that cusp of change and you're still slightly resisting, but you know there's something bigger out there to that where you will feel more alive and more fulfilled, then follow your gut. Is what my best advice, or yeah, my best advice is that actually I realized that every time I try to suppress my intuition or my gut is when the noise starts and the anxiety starts and the fear, it's when I suppress what's really here. But when I actually really listen to it and actually follow it, that's where the biggest transformation comes, right? That's where the biggest, I think, Rachel, you call it breakthrough or aha moment, right? It's that when you can transform that niggling feeling and that noise into actually, fuck it, I'm doing it because this is what I want. Does that answer the question?
Yes, thank you. We've got one here, Sanfei. Hey Delphine, have you structured a solid signature 12-week program, or is it more intuitive and you're taking a more bespoke approach for your people? Great question.
That's an amazing question, because actually so there's two things I want to, so how am I going to answer this? Right. So I actually had thought that my 12-week program was for women. And funnily enough, because I've already run that 12-week program in my corporate job. So I had like a bit of training time in my corporate job where I coached people there. And now I'm launching to the general public in my community. And I thought this was for women because I thought my ideal client was a bit of a reflection of me, right? And actually, I realized that, and that's where the breakthrough came 2 days ago. I've realized that actually, when I look at my numbers, and most people I've coached at work are men, and that men are actually connecting deeply to what I coach, what I teach and coach. And so I had written the 12-week program for who I thought was my ideal client, i.e. women who are a bit like me. And it was quite structured. I have a 12-week outline. But however, I can't say but, however, men have started signing up. Even though my social media, everything is targeted at women, my ideal client, women, men have started signing up. And that, again, that led to the breakthrough 2 days ago in the school. Thinking, because I thought I was conflicted. I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I've got men and women. This is, conflict again. And now I'm understanding that actually what I really want to do is coach men, also women, but really I feel like my calling is to help heal men, so that women can also heal. We can all heal together, right? And so back to the question, is it solid signature or more intuitive? This morning I woke up, I looked at my outline again, and I decided I'm going to still have some structure because there's points and things that I want to transmit and give. But I think I'm going to go more intuitive, based on how people connect with each other, because there's a lot about how you connect with each other in the group, because it's group coaching. And I will adapt as I go, because I'm quite a very intuitive and sensitive person. So I guess I can feel how people feel, and then I'll probably end up having some fluidity and flexibility in the program to make sure people get the value of it, the true power of it. Does that answer the question?
Amazing. Amazing. And Delphine, you've intuitively done what, when I first started out with my strategy coaches who are multimillionaires, they talk about this, that the first courses that we put out there, we can't assume to know what people need. And we have the wisdom, we have the experience, we teach from that place of knowing, and we adapt as we go, and we start to form, through doing it multiple times, much more clarity around what is our signature program. Who are our ideal clients? Yeah, yeah. Exactly, saying amazing, thank you. Since you had put the question in the school, I've been wondering about these things too. Beautiful. Let me check the chat that I haven't missed anything. Okay. I'm going to close the session with a few coaching bits, with sharing a bit more social proof. Before I do, unless anybody has more questions for Delphine, I would like to close this with the chat between you and I, Delphine, although it's a conversation between all of us, with a question that one of my favourite podcast hosts does. And it's literally, is there a leaving thought you would like to leave these women with, a golden nugget that you feel will help them in their journey? And if you're wondering what that might be, maybe it's, what would you say to yourself a year ago when you were in the midst of that challenge?
Actually, trust yourself. Trust this. Trust this. Trust your intuition. Trust that you know. Think. And every time I haven't trusted what I knew deep within, every time I try to suppress it, that's where I spiral. But when I really trust, this is where I shine. So trust, and trust that you know.
Thank you, Delphine. Thank you so much for coming in here and sharing your story, sharing your wisdom, and being social proof for the women out there, to remind them who they are, what they're capable of, and what they get to have when they move through the fear and tap into intuition. It's really beautiful. I recommend those of you who you've been here listening in, whether on the live or replay, come back to this. We're going to leave the replays up until the last day of April, I think it was, or close to the last, the 27th. That's it. The Sunday or the Monday mornings. We've got the whole weekend as well for those of you who want to rewatch over the weekend. Remember, you've got the terror barrier training. Yeah, this is a training that one of my coaches introduced me to that changed the game for me. It's a Bob Proctor teaching, and we did it in one of our previous events. Even if you've watched it multiple times, I invite you to watch it again. If you want the replay, send me a DM. You've got that as a fun thing to watch over the weekend, and it's really going to help you step into your next level. Pat, the same to you, Delphine. Trust yourself is beautiful. Thank you. So let me leave you with a bit more social proof. I love to share the ups and downs, the ins and outs, as the journey does require that we face the things within ourselves that are not in alignment with what we are calling in. And so on the path to manifesting things we've never had before, it does require we acknowledge the things within ourselves that are not resonating with that frequency. And so if we don't do that, life will present you with opportunities to bring it to the surface. The question is, how many times do you want to repeat that cycle of having to go through the experience for that to be brought up before you sit with it and look at it and transform it? Because life isn't doing it to you, it's gifting it to you so you can see where you are limiting yourself. So you can see the patterns that are deep within unconscious. Is helping you bring the unconscious to conscious, up to the surface. So you can see what you are healing. You can see what you're choosing to alchemize and transform. So this month within the school, there's been this momentum and flow. And remember, this is something that started 2 years ago. It was 3 years ago I started to begin the journey of understanding manifestation. And it was 2 years ago, a little bit more, I think it was October, November, however long that is, 2 and a bit years, when I made a big, for me at that time, stretchy investment in being supported and guided, where I didn't think that making more than the minimum wage would ever be possible for me. And this month has been a beautiful flow of sales, not really doing much to create them. We just had somebody sign up to the cert. I had one of my clients pay for another year, one-on-one in full. Another client pay for 6 months and also sign up to the cert. And I never thought 2 years ago that this could be possible. My desire is, with everything that I put out there, with all the things I invite my students to share, is that we be social proof for you. Keep dreaming big. Don't keep yourself small. Don't hide your light. Do you have any more questions or comments before we sign off for today? If so, pop those in the chat. I will host the poll in the WhatsApp group to decide our last session time. Remember to send me your questions. Yeah, whether it's about the school, whether you want to ask me about my journey, what I do behind the scenes, yeah, drop the questions in the Telegram space. So as to know that we're happy to sign off for today, just want to pop an emoji in the chat, because maybe somebody's writing a question and I don't want to sign off and cut you off. I can hear my belly is ready for breakfast. Okay, ladies. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for your presence. You still have lots of magic to come, don't worry, it's not over yet. I'll see you in the WhatsApp space and the Telegram space. And I'll see you in our session next week. I love you all.